Good evening, folks. We are back with more Dark Tide. Joining me tonight, as you can see, we'll get to, but to celebrate International Being You Day,
Oh my God.
give us something fantastic about yourself. So, starting with Amy.
Oh God! Why do you always put this? No.
Because
hello,
you're most
hi,
used
I'm
to it,
Amy.
everyone here.
I am the most used to it, but still, I'm grasping at straws. Hi, I'm Amy. I play Ruth Yosef, our Dalish elf healer. I don't know. Yeah, I know a lot about Dragon Age. That's pretty evident.
Something good about yourself, Amy. It's Being You Day.
I like to sleep. There we go. I don't know.
Brilliant.
I don't know.
Maybe like one thing good to be the HR person in the room. Maybe one thing good about yourself and one thing good about your character.
Oh, Ruth's
That would be easy, right? Yeah. So
yeah, that would be so much easier.
You start with that, and then you leapfrog off the momentum into your own self.
I haven't slept in 2 days, so I'm gonna just go with you. Ruth is quite studious, and I'm kind of like that too, I suppose.
There you go.
There we go.
There you go.
Okay. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, no problem. I will fix that, AJ. Next, we have very fresh-faced Eden.
Hello, I'm Eden, and I suppose a good thing about me is that I can shave and lose 20 years or something, so I'm being told, so that's fine. And the good thing about my character is he's not your average Tevinter. He's possibly more moral than moral in the Ferelden sense. Within Tevinter morality and ethics, he's probably a bit of an outcast, but yeah, otherwise...
Is he the equivalent of the weirdo at the back of the class who's like a 7th level vegan or something and like refuses to eat anything that has atoms that have touched an animal?
He's not quite like that bad, but he's definitely no slave to blood magic. So that's definitely like a line that most would have crossed.
It's
I mean,
just
he's
like
a character played by me, so weirdo at the back of the class is definitely in there somewhere. But yeah.
Alright. Then, at the top corner over there, we have Ron. You're muted. There we go.
No, it's because I'm coughing.
you're not talking, you're coughing. Cigarettes
Like one
will
of
kill you faster than you
One
think.
of those shows where, like, you know, we're back in the 60s where we're coughing but we're still like going on with it.
Well, I feel so bad. Every time I have a cigarette, I'm hacking up a lung. I've only been smoking the dry things for 2 years. Hi, I'm Rowan. I'm playing Juniper, who is basically my cat as a D&D character that I bullied poor Pupsky into let me play. The best thing about Juniper is probably the fact that she is fluffy and very cute. Yeah.
I mean, are you fluffy and cute?
Well, fluffy, yes. Probably gonna get worse when I get on tea. I wouldn't say cute though.
This is the question that really
Good thing
cripples
about
everyone.
me, I have to talk positively about myself for 5 minutes. Oh my god.
But
Why
that's
is
the
this so
problem.
hard?
In one sentence, why is this so hard?
Why is this so hard? As the only Indian person in cast, I am surrounded by people from the British mainland who can't say one nice thing about themselves.
Are you kidding me? That's basically our national character.
I know, but like, come on, it shouldn't be that hard. I'm nice.
It shouldn't be hard, but deeply ingrained every... Well, I don't know necessarily about the whole of the British Isles, but certainly England and probably Scotland as well is a very deep-seated desire not to brag. And so the number of things you will hear about a person from themselves will almost all be self-deprecating. Rarely will it be positive
But here's the
Obviously.
You just say you're a nice person. That's okay. That kind of fixes everything.
It's just part of our national culture that we don't have nice things to say about ourselves.
Anyway,
Which is really sad now that I say it out loud. But...
So, come on, something great
half
about yourself.
decent at writing horror. There we go.
There we go.
Hey!
All right.
Group therapy.
Next, right at the end there, we have the bee rider himself, Mr. Tom.
Hello! I'm riding the bee! That means I must be really small, or it's a really big bee. Maybe. The nice thing about my character is, well, shit, he hasn't been around long enough, really, to have something nice about him.
He likes
He is-
bees.
Now that's me! I like bees! He doesn't really know a bee from a bottle.
A bottle?
He is quite, where's my piece of paper with all the things about him? He is very straightforward. He does not tell lies very easily. In fact, he is very bad at telling lies, so you can always know when he's lying. So he's very open. And a nice thing about me is that I keep bees, and I like bees. I've been drawn into it. I blame my mum. She's the one who asked me to make the beehive and help her with the bees and all the other stuff. I blame her.
All right. And
I'm riding a bee!
And finally this week we have Mr. Shiraz.
Hello everybody, I play Vincenzo Cabash, and Vincenzo is a very nice man. He's in an unfortunate situation and is now somehow a cat parent, as well as a writer. And I think similarly, I like to kid myself that I don't write really well, but I do actually. I love making games, and that's kind of like one of the things I'm good at, I feel. So that's me. See how easy it is?
Don't do this to me.
So now all that good feeling is out the way. What happened last week?
We didn't kill anyone.
Topsky, you need to say something nice about you too.
Yeah, I
Yes.
feel like we.
Yes.
I agree.
We're not leaving you out of this.
Something good about
concur.
me. I can make therapists cry.
That's actually
Is that the truth?
no. I mean, impressive.
Oh, honey.
My therapist in 2 weeks has gone from stern, this is what will happen, this is what I'll do, to like, I've never seen anyone look genuinely more like freaked out by some of the stuff I've had to explain. So yeah. Anyway, moving on from my own eldritch horror. What happened last week?
We didn't kill anyone.
Did we?
We knocked out a lawyer, which in the grand scheme of things is not.
Oh, yes.
Honestly, it's basically a public service, if you're thinking about it, you know.
We went to the cells, we met an arsonist, and
An alleged
acquired our new... Yes, an alleged arsonist, and acquired our new companion,
Yep.
Gimli. I'm gonna still call you Gimli because it's just...
It's just, yeah. I'm surprised I didn't call... I'd be completely honest. I called myself Gimli, and then was like, no, copyright. Gimli.
Yeah.
legally
matter.
distinct.
A legally distinct Gimli, yes.
I feel ya. I had a character called Ganfluff the Queer.
An
That's
improvement.
good.
He had a panther named Frodo the Camp.
Ah, yes.
Our arsonist turned out to be a tranquil who really liked fire, just watching it. So we took him out for to the crime, one of the crime scenes, to like have a look about and stuff and see if he
There had been
remembered
a spate
anything.
of fires in the city.
Yeah. We came across another house of repute, which Wraith decided to investigate, and then discovered that the whole street was like a whole red light district kind of thing.
We stumbled into the Red Lantern district.
The Red Lantern district.
Redstone Torch District.
It turned out that there were dwarves setting fire to a certain noble's houses, so it was for the insurance. So we posed as his lawyer. Well, Wraith posed as a lawyer.
Couple of cracker contracts, which were just very confusing and very bizarre.
Were they just confession letters, but
They were confession letters, and my flatmate who is studying law told me that is not how you get people to confess, and I was like, yeah, but we're the cops. Who's gonna stop?
Pretty much. And so we got Kenneth. That was Tranquil's name.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, we got interrupted by the actual guy's real lawyer, who we knocked out. Is that?
We stunned and threw in the bushes.
After we got him to sign the piece of paper, and then we left the confession with the guard, and we had Kenneth released to the Grey Wardens.
Yes. And also, the most important thing that we're going to be doing today is that the person who was really rich, whose name I'm forgetting because he's a rich person, he had some ship coming into port with a lot of contraband, and he wanted us to, as lawyers, get rid of it. And then Yevon was like, we've got it impounded, we're going to the ship now, and that's what we are.
All right. Please tell me if my fan is pointing at the microphone too much. Now I'll move it, by the way. You'll have to be chat that tells me, because I don't think it's coming across in Discord. So yeah. But yes, we shall continue from there. The cat is now asleep on my foot. So yes, you all sort of after disposing of Mr. Tompkins, the lawyer, and leaving him out in the. Would you do anything with him, or did you just leave him in the pub?
Yeah, we took him to a bar.
We took him to the fabricant. We took him to the fabricant place, and he is still in their care.
He was a bit out of it, and we made sure to dib some alcohol on him and down him, so that when he woke up he would not necessarily be believed.
So we didn't kill anyone, but we definitely assassinated a character.
All right. Okay, that's fine. I was very confused what that noise was. So yes, so you have a sort of day to yourself. Oh, hang on, got a message from AJ telling me about sound. Still a bit of background noise bleeding in from someone's mic.
Oh, that should be me. There's F1 in the background. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I noticed. I could hear the engines, and also Dad watching it.
It's a lot of meow going around.
Meow. It's like a very industrial cat. All right. Okay. So we'll continue from there. So as you sort of you got back, you had the rest of the day to yourself. The next day you come down to your usual meeting with Yevon, and as you get there, the dwarf is very sort of like, right, so what do we know about this boat? Anyone have any knowledge?
Well, you said you impounded it for a reason, right?
It's currently sitting out there, and he points out the window, and you see just at the edge of the docks, you see this quite large looking cargo ship just sort of sitting there. There it's out there. We couldn't bring it into port. We got cautioned not to by this gentleman, and he sort of turns, and you see a sort of very gangly looking elf who looks absolutely terrified in handcuffs in front of you, and he just looks at you and goes, hi, yeah, don't bring the boat in.
What's in the boat?
Why is it in chains?
People are in the boat. Well, he's in chains
What?
because apparently something illegal, something person. I don't know. I don't know. I've already said we'll take him, but everyone else keeps going, do you really need him? And sort of poking him, like they'd send him somewhere.
Are you alright, friend? Have they treated you well?
Huh? Yeah.
You seem very jumpy and nervous.
No,
Something happened.
just leave the boat. Don't. Sink the boat. Sink the boat. Sink the boat. Yes.
Why? What frightens you?
He just stares at you with this intense.
I'm gonna nudge you, except it's not gonna be a nudge. It's gonna be more of a like that, and say, "Scared of everything by the looks."
Dig into my just a dig into my hip.
just like yeah.
You
Sorry.
remind me of an old friend of mine, and not fondly.
Who,
Don't
me?
do that. Yes.
I'm trying to think now. Who would that be? Who wouldn't elbow you in the knee?
Ruth's secret past as a wrestler
Ah.
in the wrestling league.
Yeah.
Yeah,
no,
a thumb wrestler. Yeah.
Well, it's true.
Perhaps,
Yeah, if we're
perhaps
scared
cards,
enough.
but no. I'm a healer first, not a fighter. Anyway, can I? I'm gonna roll a magic check. Can I like assess like his condition, kind of like his well-being, his health and stuff?
Yep.
Come on, computer. Thank you.
Computron.
Oh,
Computron.
that is a failure.
You look at him and you go, yes, he's a very. He looks very thin. You get an immediate urge to sort of overfeed him.
That doesn't surprise me at all. So Ruth's like, right, he puts his hand in his pocket and takes out a couple
Where's
of
the
apples. Right, have that.
Yeah.
Have that. I think, Gavin, I'm going to take him inside and get him some food. He's a bit, he's a little thin.
Ah, yes, fine. I mean, the only other thing we have to deal with is something about the elusive Dave Featherbeard. Whatever this is.
Oh yeah.
Anyone knows anything about this, please let me know, because I keep getting reports that we should recruit him into the Wardens, but I don't know who he is, so... Aye.
Cabbage has his books. He just points at Cabbage. Like the one fact she knows kind of
I flipped through the pages and I made a very detailed drawing of the graffiti that we saw on the bird thing, and I was like, this guy?
And just... You see Evan go, it's quite the sketch.
It was much more detailed in person. If you want, there's a burnt down place next to the Red Lantern District that has
I
that.
see.
But we don't know who this guy is, though. I do want to know though. Anyway, I asked him if this guy is from the boat. Like, did they find him rowing into port, or did they just? Why is he so freaked out?
They found him frantically swimming towards port. Even though he claims he can't swim.
Oh.
Well, I mean, I can't swim, but if you threw me in water, I'd be damn sure to get out of there fast.
Something scared him so much that he gained the ability to swim.
Apparently.
Well, not necessarily. You know, if you thrash your arms out, eventually you'll get there somewhere.
sheer adrenaline.
Sure.
Well, yeah,
Run.
whatever that is.
Sheer adrenaline can make me run.
Whatever sheer adrenaline is. Yeah.
Pyro.
Sheer Adrenaline is the dancer at the pub by the dockside.
Sheer adrenaline. It's a captivating performance. Very dangerous.
Definitely one of the sites you should take in, but anyway, let's move on.
But so they've impounded the ship. It's at the docks. This person is currently being fed to some level of calmness, I'm assuming.
It's just to be like, I'm full, please. No, not more apple! Oh, another
Take,
one, please!
take the apple.
You
But
will
not
have this
fat yet.
cheese.
Take the apple.
I'm like putting it in the porridge. I'm making up like baby food for him for later.
Oh no,
Like,
now it's just, now I'm all just imagining this guy just walking past and he's in the middle of conversation and then Ruth goes, ah, ah, ah.
Come on.
Every
Come on,
time he
eat
opens
up,
his mouth,
eat
he's
up,
like,
eat up.
no.
When was the last time you had me a full meal, my friend? I know.
Before
I
I
know.
went in the
I know
barrel.
such things.
Before you bend in the
What?
barrel.
What? Who's put you in the barrel?
No one.
Okay. What's your name, good sir?
It's Evelyn.
Evelyn?
Yeah.
Evelyn. Why, do you know what's bad on the boat that made you come here?
Everything.
Okay. You gotta narrow it down, Evelyn.
Well, they sort of shoved me in the barrel and rolled me onto the boat. And then I remember hearing screaming. And then my barrel was broken. And then I started running and then I ended up here.
Alright. So something attacked something on the boat, yeah?
But
Your friend,
how did you? Did you swim here? From the boat?
Yes.
Are you hurt in any way?
Sort of looks himself up and down and goes, I'm just full of apple.
It's true. I'm gonna walk up to the elf and wait. Hang on. Is the elf? Do I have to look down or up?
He's sitting down and quite scrawny, so he's
So
probably
maybe eye
about eye level with you, yes.
Okay. I'm gonna look at him and say, why should we sink a boat with people in it?
There's no people in it.
What were the screams if there were no people?
Just looks at you with a look of just, they weren't people.
Did they say?
All right then, let's go see what's on this boat.
I just realised chat is being cut off by things, so give me 2 seconds to fix that. Carry on.
So, as a side note to our new friend Gimli, I was like wondering if we could fashion some kind of a scope. Would that be too difficult to make?
A what?
A scope.
Oh.
There we go.
You make like Captain Jack Sparrow and like.
What is it you want to make, sir?
A scope. Like I'm explaining the concept of a scope to like Gimli.
I can do that.
Yeah, we'd probably have to go get material.
Nods frantically and holds up a pair of stolen glasses.
It's like perfect. I go perfect, and I pat her head for it. Like it's like just the best.
I guess that would be a tinkering roll. Where is tinkering?
Yep.
+5. Let's see if I can make a scope out of these glasses and what else I've got on me. Actually, what do I have on me?
What do I have on me?
Stuff.
Things
Probably
and
enough.
also stuff. Yep.
Nice.
You take the glasses, you twist them in a certain way to make the lenses line up. So it does work as some kind of telescope.
Even if it's crude, it will get up some magnification.
Yeah.
Which is alright. I look at Captain Yevon and I say, I suppose you want us to go check out the boat then.
Hang on. Can I roll for tinkering again?
What for?
I want to make an adjustment
Which is what?
to the scope. Now,
Let's put a gun underneath it.
no. I want to see if
When
I
you
can.
look into it, it says zoom, 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 zoom.
Don't tempt me.
Perhaps. I'm not saying that is what I was
What
going
were you
to
trying to do?
I can't see
exactly
anything.
that.
It just keeps saying zoom all the time.
Can I don't know how. Actually, I mean, it's probably a little unrealistic. I don't even know how I'd do that. With
What's the plan here?
forget it. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
Since you don't tell me what it is you're trying to do, you have tinkered the telescope that it now does the sort of shutter in and out thing. But when you shutter it in, there is a loud squeak like something being crushed.
Ooh.
Oh no.
Yeah,
The
like
rat
that.
powering the scope. It's like,
There's a squeak, and when you extend it, there's a sigh of relief. Let's do that.
Well, before we attend to this ship, Yavin, did you happen to pull in Simpkins after the confession we managed to draw out of him?
Well,
yes,
we talked to him. He says he knows nothing about it, and the ship's got nothing to do with him. But
Well,
aye, it's all a bit weird.
we have a signed confession from him, right?
Yeah.
He looks. He takes it out of his. Goes to his pockets, pulls it out, and looks and goes, "Aye, there's a lot you got him to sign to here."
Yeah. We didn't get the ship in, but we can interrogate him again now, properly, about what's on the ship.
Officially.
yes, and he definitely has something to do with it. There's no doubt about that.
Whether or not it's his fault. What's the old saying? Accountable, responsible, or the other one?
Culpable.
Culpable. There you go. Yourself knows.
Reliable, dependable, and
smart
lots
in
of
this
other
one.
words ending in dibble.
I've been watching a lot of courtroom stuff this last week.
Oh,
I can imagine.
Okay, so
The trial.
do we want to? Do some of us want to go interrogate them, and some of us going to use the binocular at the port? Because I'd like to go to the port and take a look at the ship with someone else, and then just get Simpkins to basically tell us what it is.
I mean, did he really look that intelligent to you to know what he was actually buying?
He knew that something was bad on the ship, and I wasn't there. I'm sorry, I was dealing. This is meta knowledge. I was actually dealing with the other lawyer, Tompkins. It's like,
Oh yeah.
Yes, he definitely inferred that he had involvement with this ship and was aware of something afoot. I think he has information that would be pertinent to this situation and might allow us to avoid some danger potentially.
I mean, I'd rather we all go together because I don't think splitting the party and having so many. I'd rather we all go to the ship together. So.
alright, that's
Sounds smart.
Let's
Strength in
observe the
numbers.
ship first.
Strength in numbers, of course.
See what we can.
all right.
yeah, okay.
So as you all head to the port, I have to ask Tom, have you made reins for your bee?
I was just gonna cover.
Maybe. Maybe.
Just watching the.
Oh my
Oh,
god.
this one. Oh god.
It's adorable.
Listen, I'm easily distracted, okay?
Oh,
No, but it's great.
horrible.
It was like while it was perfect.
All right. So you head down to the port, and after a long, drawn-out argument with a sort of annoyed-looking harbour master, he gives you a basic boat to be able to row your way to the ship that's outside
A
the
dinghy.
kind of a dinghy. Yes, that's sitting outside.
Who's the most aware of us all? Like I know we're all aware, but like who is the most aware?
Who is the most aware?
Not me. I'll tell you that much.
Is it aware of things in her peripheral vision that she could bite or steal? Maybe. Anything else? No.
I'm very curious to see if we ever give Juniper the binoculars. She'd just have a moment of like that cat thing where they just stare into another dimension.
I imagine Ruth's quite aware because considering he's an apostate, so he's basically been on the run his entire life. So
Yeah.
I'd imagine it would be him.
Basically, it's whoever gets to take a look. Either we pass the binoculars amongst ourselves and just take a look at things. Sorry, the telescope, because it's not a binocular.
Are you wanting me to make an awareness check?
I would like to look through it as well. Like we can take turns passing.
Does the scope give a bonus? I feel like the scope should give a +1.
Well, that's an 11.
Well, even with a +1, you see the ship. You notice its sails are down, but seem to have been sliced clean. But there's a sort of ragged top of the sails. The lower half of the lower, but there's only about a quarter of the sails left. It looks like it's been very cleanly sliced all the way along.
As like someone's stabbed the sail and like came down through it.
It looks like it's
or-
been slashed sideways.
Oh, sideways.
And as you look with the monoscope, it does seem to have several very sort of rough slashes to it, like it's been hacked down rather than cut down.
Those sails are rather strange. Wonder what damn it could do that.
So this looks like a merchant ship. So
Yes.
it's like has it got like cannon ports or is it just for like?
Yes, it's got cannon ports.
Are they open or closed at the moment?
They are closed at the moment, although some of them are missing the sort of little flap that goes over the cannon port.
Who's rowing the
Look,
boat? Here's the real question.
That is the real question. Who is rowing the boat?
Probably me, innit?
Yeah.
It probably is getting the.
Very inefficiently, I might add, because I can't reach high enough to get the oars fully in the water, so they're only just sort of like skipping through the top little bit. So it's like
You are indeed
so
just spraying water at everyone else, but everyone else is like, I don't want to complain
I'm
because
having to do it like
that means I'd have to
mostly over
row
my
if I
head.
did. So yeah.
No, if it means that they're getting wet, Ruth would have like intervened by now and be like, no, I'll take.
I don't
I'll
think you're getting wet because there's not enough water being scooped up by the oars to get you wet.
It's more like
It doesn't matter.
It's extremely slow, basically.
It doesn't have to be a lot of water.
We're getting 10% oarage at this one. Like it's only dipping into the thing, crawling towards us.
So yes, after about 10-15 minutes of frantically rowing towards this boat, eventually you get near enough that you can see that as you get close to it, you notice that there is at least one other ship. It looks like it's got its cannons trained on it, but it's from the port, so it looks like it has actually been impounded rather than being just sort of sitting there.
Okay. So they've chased it down and made it come into port. Yeah.
It just seems to be sitting there. You notice that its anchor isn't even down, but it just seems to be sitting there, like it's not moving. Despite the tide, it's not moving.
Are there any noises we can hear?
Is it beached?
It's rather odd.
I'll roll an awareness check to see if I can hear anything like apart from the creaking and the water.
Okay.
Is there anybody going about on deck that
Nope.
we can see? No. See, that's even more odd.
No, 11. So
There's no real sign of anything on the ship. It seems very. As you kind of come up next to it, you have a very strange sensation about this ship. It does feel very. There's something wrong.
I don't like this one bit. I can
No,
feel it in my
no.
jubblies.
No, there's something very, very wrong about this boat. And
On the one hand, I'm tempted to say we sink it. But on the other hand, I don't want to let whatever's in there just out into the ocean.
yeah.
Depending on what's going on, I was thinking it might be the best idea.
But what if it's like a snake or something that lives in water? You know? Could be worse if it was in the water.
I mean, sea serpents do exist, but I've never, ever came across anything that's monstrous or anything like that in any of the literature I've read or the places I have been. So I find it very highly unlikely. A whale maybe, but not a snake serpent creature.
I'm assuming there's like rope in this boat, in this dinghy that we're in.
Yep.
To like kind of get us to the top bit.
I imagine there's like the side.
Yeah, there's a sort of footholds to
that
climb
you-
up the side. Yeah, like a sort of inbuilt ladder.
Oh yeah. Okay. Cool. All right. I guess I think we should like try and be quiet. Perhaps not as like.
Let's secure the boat to the other side. There should be an anchor for us to attach the dinghy, and that way we have we don't have to swim. Actually, I can't swim, so let's best avoid that.
At this point,
Rock, paper.
Pinnapo is clutched at the bottom of the boat, looking terrified, regretting every decision she's ever made that landed her in this situation, and is half under the rope. Like trying to snuggle away from the water, but doesn't know how.
At the risk of like mortal injury, I will pat my back. It's like it's backpack time. And then kind of like, come on.
Not moving.
Because the last time it was like kind of terrifying because I actually got a lot of damage from it. I was bleeding profusely.
You've learned from your mistake.
I'd say learned this.
Now he has like
Is a strong
like
word.
now he has like coconut mat with like a thick leather lining on his back at all times, so that when he does have a cat on his back, it doesn't rip it into shreds.
Yeah, I've reinforced the so-called juniper latch-on pads.
She sidles sideways and just kind of flumps against his leg, and it's like,
I guess it's time to do part 2, which is the scarf maneuver. Just pick a scarf and then try and climb up.
Ruth's already like halfway up this thing, looking behind him, going, "Where is everybody?"
I'm getting there. I'm pretty dexterous. I might have even got there faster than you.
Probably.
More than likely.
So you climb up onto the main deck. The main deck itself is pretty empty. There is the sort of main. There's the main sail, sort of pillar coming out the middle of the ship. There is what looks like a set of stairs with a large, heavy covering over them at the front and at the sort of mid of the ship. At the back, there looks like there's some sort of there's a sort of area that goes up to where the helmsman would stand, and there seems to be a door leading to some kind of cabin at the back.
Is there blood on the deck?
No. It looks oddly clean.
Oddly.
Race takes a sniff of the air. Is there any familiar smells from his workplace, shall we say?
It just smells like salt air.
Okay.
Alright, so which way we go? The door? Captain's quarters?
I mean, it'd probably be best to make sure that the deck is clear. What are those canvases covering, I wonder?
Yes, let's have a look, shall we?
And I put my hand out and I go like, it's best to send like, you know, the Expendables, and then I summon Bruno.
Roll to summon Bruno.
As you said that, Wraith looked over at the new guy. And
I had my hand.
Bruno snapped his eyes back like, "Oh, you didn't see me do that."
I had my hand on my axe and a raised eyebrow. I'd like to point out. I'm still gonna take out my axe because there might be something under the canvas that's unloved.
I was side eye. Ruth was side eyeing Wraith actually, but nope, maybe not. You didn't.
There's a lovely team, isn't it? Blimey.
You try to summon Bruno. There's a flash, and immediately the bright white Hala is standing there looking at you like, "I'm back!"
Alright, Steve. Here's the deal. You see that canvas over there? And I wait for her to look at the canvas.
Okay.
I thought you took Steve out of the ring.
Apparently,
yeah, I was about to say.
Steve has found his way back. I see. The thing is, Vincenzo actually, the items that he owns that allows him to summon these things are not him. He's like he's pillaged them from places, so he's not really a mage.
Yeah, they were inherited.
Yeah, they were.
That's-
Yeah, I inherited it from my family. But I explained to Steve that he must go over there and take care of the tarp.
Okay. What does Steve do?
This is Steve on probation, by the way.
Steve charges over enthusiastically and smashes through the tarp, through the side of the ship, and plummets into the ocean.
Well, we found out what's behind the tarp.
As you go and look at it, there seems to be it looks like it was livestock cages, but they're all empty.
Okay. Like, in the sense that, like, was there something in them, or were they always?
From the now hole of destruction left by Steve, there seems to be like a couple of feathers and like a couple of like obvious signs that there was maybe small pigs or something in here.
Mm-hmm. And Steve has taken them to the watery grave.
And Steve has taken a pile of the cages with him as he plummeted off. You notice that when he hit the water, he hasn't come back out. So
Yeah,
He's
but
still down there.
I look over, and if he's struggling, I will unsummon him like immediately.
the water is oddly calm.
I'm assuming this made a lot of noise. Did anything happen in response to the noise?
There was a very sudden crash as Steve barreled through the stuff, and then everything went. There was a large splush, and then everything's kind of gone quiet since then.
I'm still slightly on edge. Can I go up to the pillar?
Yes. The main sail pillar.
Yeah,
Yes.
I'd like to climb.
Okay. Do you want to
Is that
climb
a
all?
dex roll?
Yes. It's a dex roll.
Is there a specific climbing? No.
No, it's just
So just
dex.
dex. Roll d20 plus 5. Can't
Yep.
see the bloody rolls through my B. Megan, I love you, but you're in the way, love.
Right. So you climb up the. Are you wanting to get all the way to the top, or you wanted to get halfway up? How far you want to go?
All the way up to the top. Unless there's something particularly interesting on the way.
Alright, so you climb up to the top of the sail. The rigging leading between the other two sails is still up, though all the sails seem to have been slashed.
Anything else that I can see that might be pertinent?
Not really, no. A lot of the ropes look a little looser, look like they're hanging a little looser than you'd expect from a ship.
Yeah, but the sails have been slashed and no one's tending it, so I wouldn't be surprised. Alright then. Zip it back down and just say nothing up there that I could see.
Okay.
Completely desolate. Is there any indication of how long ago these cages were emptied? Like, looking at what's in there, like, is it fresh? Is it decaying? What state is it?
I'd say they probably seem seems like they haven't been touched for a while. Because you notice that they've got more. They're very sort of still kind of wet from the weather effects and stuff, even with the tarp over them. So yeah, as I said, you've got the two sort of passages, two sort of set of stairs down to the deck below. They've been covered with the heavy, kind of like a sort of heavy covering over them, I suppose, made of like heavy wood and iron. And you've got the cabins at the back of the ship. So yeah, and these cages off to the side.
I think we should go to the captain's cabin. Maybe we can find the manifest.
That's if he kept one.
Before going downstairs, it's definitely best to exhaust all the options up here.
Yes.
Okay. Go to the captain's side, like the captain's cabin, the cabin's on deck.
You go to the cabin at the back. Well, you try the door. The door opens. There's a atmospheric creak as the door swings open, just revealing a small corridor, maybe like 2 meters long, and then another door. It looks like it leads into the cabin itself.
I suggest one of us remain out here just in case. We don't want to accidentally set off something.
I take it
Rather
you're
than one of us
volunteering?
I'm the one who is going to put your insides back in. if
So
we
you're
fall out.
volunteering. Alrighty then.
Why would I volunteer?
I pat Gimli on the shoulder. I was like, all right, let's go. I'm right behind
Still
you.
clinging onto that arm, by the way, like.
Yes. I just have a cat on hand. Like,
Poor Juniper. Poor Juniper.
if anything happens, I'm just gonna throw a very anxious cat at whatever's in front of me.
This is exactly what she's like whenever she goes outside, by the way.
Aww.
Yeah, so I'll follow Gimli. Sorry, legally distinct Gimli.
Okay. So you open the back cabin itself. It reveals a quite large-looking four-poster bed and a small desk at the side. There is a massive chest on the wall on the sort of like. You walk in, the bed's in the middle of the room. The desk is to your left. The large chest is to your right.
Yeah. Are they navigation maps on the table or something like that?
On the desk looks like several. Looks like scribbled notes and maps. Yes.
Can I use literacy to try and make sense of where they were coming from?
Mm-hmm.
Like, in terms of...
Wraith will help you with that as well because he's good with literacy.
Okay.
Yeah. We're both rolling that stuff. Yeah.
Together.
Okay. It looks. It says that they were coming from. I just double check my Dragon Age map. Check I have the name right because.
Wraith is much better at this than I am.
Read those scribbles.
Read my scribbles. You can read the handwriting.
Mm.
I can only be like, what's that word over there?
I'd be faster just asking Amy, wouldn't I? Amy, what's the one off to? Not the one where the not the one with the Kutnari are from. The one south of that that's off to the far.
Saharon. Parvolan. Ravine.
Ravine, yes, thank you. That's one else. So yes, you notice that the manifest says they started in Ravine, but they seem to. It seems to be a very hasty stop in somewhere in Ferelden, and lots of scribbles saying we should never have stopped.
Oh, they definitely shouldn't have stopped. If Ferelden has fallen to the Blight and Darkspawn, the Darkspawn taint, then it's possible they picked up some of the taint.
Oh no.
So this is... So
Is-
nobody touched nothing.
Is sinking the ship still a viable option, or is just that
Yeah.
just going to put the taint underwater?
No. It should distill in the water, fine. But if like Darkspawn blood taint is ingested, it basically turns you
What
slowly
about
or kills
Fish.
you. And it's contagious as well.
What about if the
So
fish
if
eat
one
it?
person has it. It
There
should-
was a point earlier where we fought a crocodile that had
A croco what?
They've been
You know, like a-
corrupted by it. Yeah.
a big water lizard.
It can
water, lovely.
taint large areas, but it's only where they're prevalent. So like if there's a lot of foot traffic of like it, or if a large like I'm talking like probably like 10, 20 ogres worth of blood has like contaminated an area. So it needs a large quantity of like to contaminate a large area.
How much taint could fit in the hold of a cargo ship?
I mean, considering there's no crew on deck, and only one person swam ashore. They don't.
It's best keep our wits about us. There might be some darkspawn lurking about.
I'm gonna put
It only
away my
takes a
axe.
few.
I'm gonna put away my axe. This is a good quality axe. This is. I'm risking that on some bloody tainted things. I'm gonna.
Out
Get
of
the,
character. Out of character, if you're male, the darkspawn will either kill you straight out and then eat you, but if you're female, you're kept for other purposes.
Oh no.
Oh, lovely.
I didn't want to. I didn't need to know that information.
Yeah.
It's like,
There's a creature in the game that you come across.
No, thank you. I don't want to hear it.
just
but,
point at it when you
look,
see it, and we'll kill.
I don't want this axe to get all like horribly gunky and corrupt with blood and gut. This is a good axe. This is my granddad's axe.
It's a
I don't.
family axe.
You'd be able
So
to
I'm-
clean it, but
It won't
just
seep
don't
into
lick
the
just
wood,
don't
or
lick it. Just don't
No,
lick
just
it.
don't lick it. Yeah, just don't lick it.
it won't like
Absolutely.
infuse the blade or soak into the wood or anything.
I look at Juniper and then I kind
Right.
of wave the arm
Sorry?
over to the chest and I go, chest, Chinese maybe, Chinese.
Box.
Yeah, yeah. And I
Is it
gently,
safe?
you gotta check if it's safe.
Gonna like
Remember?
push Juniper. She's just standing there, like the paws scraping the floor. I guess I'm gonna pick the chest.
Okay. You looked at the chest. You see that seems to be 4 or 5 padlocks on it.
Wow, okay, there's a lot of padlocks. There are more padlocks than I thought.
Okay.
Can I inspect the hinges before we do anything with the lockpicks?
Yeah. They seem simple.
Blacksmithing or lockpicking?
Tinker.
Blacksmithing, maybe.
It's a moving part, Tinker.
That's 5. Because if it's just if they're just regular hinges, nothing too complex, then it might be easier just to take the hinges off and then just push it aside.
I have never thought of that, and now it is like permanently lodged in my head that that's how you open the trap chest. You just go the other way.
It depends if the hinges are on the inside of it or not, but yes, you look
Yeah.
to the back, the hinges are luckily on the outside, so yes, you can just take the hinges off.
Booyah. Screwdriver, maybe a hammer, if it's used
I
pins.
quite like this dwarf. He's quite useful.
I have my moments. I have my moments.
So
Very useful.
about 5-10 minutes later, you've unscrewed the hinges and you flip the chest open. It does seem to be full of coins.
Oh.
It does seem to be more full of money than you'd expect from something.
I'm gonna get out my axe and sort of poke it a bit
Mhm.
with the pointy end.
Uh-huh.
Am I
Okay.
dead?
No.
Is the treasure? Do the coins have a skull on?
Let me just see.
Do
You
they
poke
look
it, as you poke it,
droopy?
there's the definite split-second appearance of dust. Like something is underneath that's very dusty.
Oh.
I'm gonna
Can I
use
do
my
an Arcana
steel.
check?
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna do an Arcana check because if my suspicion is right, I think I know what that is. Oh God!
You do an Arcana check and you go.
I don't know what it is.
You go. Oh, whatever it is must be very powerful. Maybe it could help me. And you start rummaging through the chest with your hands.
Oh no!
Oh no! Oh no!
It's the die they leave in the chest of gold to mark you as a criminal.
And can we
no.
also take a swing at some sensing of magic here, seeing
Yes.
this quick action?
There's a definite sense of. Actually, Amy, what do you think it is before I?
I think it's lyrium dust.
Mm-hmm. There's
That's
quite.
that's just explosive.
There's quite a lot of lyrium and lyrium dust, sort of large chunks of lyrium in this chest. And as you look in, there's definitely, you sense something stronger than that. And as you watch Ruth dig through frantically, as the magic dust is now flying and sort of twinkling in the air. As they dig through, they eventually stop and they pull out what looks like a sort of, it's like a box of about maybe 20 centimeters by 20 centimeters. It's like a kind of quite large. It's more kind of like a very fancy cigar box.
Is there anything like carving pattern wise on this box that can be seen?
It's very. It looks like a very intrinsic style. It looks like something magical, but from your years of magic, it looks like maybe just
Can I do a lore check
draw.
on it?
It looks like a drawing rather than anything
As
specific.
if I let you have it, it's in my hand.
Yeah, but I can
And
see it.
I want to do.
I'd like to do a lore check if I can see. I'm
Is-
sure. If you're holding it, I'll take a penalty of -1 to it.
Is lyrium radioactive or like otherwise like contact on skin?
So lyrium is like the magical substance that help mages. It can it's basically like your mana nerf.
It's
a
spice.
natural substance. Yeah, and it's also it's addictive as well to Templars, and it allows Templars to nullify magic as well. So people that are trained as Templars usually drink it, but it's highly addictive. And it also makes you like forgetful, paranoid. You basically lose after a while of ingesting lyrium. You will go mad.
So Gimli is intrigued by this box, and as Ruth is standing holding it, Gimli looks at it, and throughout all the pattern, underneath everything else, they notice that there is definitely a Templar symbol on the box.
And I know what a Templar is, I'm assuming.
You know the
'cause otherwise I
symbol
wouldn't
with that score. You know the symbol.
I'm gonna share this information with the group. That's Templar symbology. That is.
So after you notice it once, you notice it repeats over and over and over again, and a sort of underlying pattern.
Man, it's all over the box. The whole thing is
I
like.
think we should heed this as a warning. Perhaps a Templar seal indicates some kind of powerful magic locked away.
Don't be ridiculous. Templars are always putting away mages for no reason, or murdering us in our sleep.
Okay.
They force us through a harrowing to test our abilities at a ridiculous age where we have they have little understanding. I'm so glad I grew up outside one, and my time there was brief.
Are you opening the
putting
box?
the box? I was gonna say, are you putting the box in your coat while you're telling us all this?
So
I'm like angrily opening it at the same time. I'm angrily opening.
Ruth opens the box. Inside there is a large set of what looks like human-sized dentures. Only the canines on the up and lower side are all made of red lyrium.
Oh bollocks! Shuts the box.
That's gross. That's manky. That is.
Wait, is that the captain?
I'm gonna drop the box back into the thing, close the chest, be like, everybody out.
You can't close the chest.
It's
The hinges,
Everybody
are,
out.
the hinges are off. Okay, I guess
From the other
put
side,
the
then.
lid back on close-ish to where it was.
we're taking
Everybody
the
out.
chest with us.
No, we're not taking the chest with us. We're really not.
When you see, the worst thing to hear from a smart person is, "Oh." So at this point, I think I'm going to leave because when a smart person says, "Oh," you know something is badly wrong.
This is not normal lyrium. This is red lyrium. This is highly dangerous, and shit gets weird. Everybody out.
Yes,
Clearly.
Gimli's got the right idea. To the boat, Gimli?
To the boat.
As you walk back outside, you notice that the front sort of panel that was covering the stairs has been moved and is lying open. And as you look down to find your boat, you notice it slowly being paddled away by what looks like a sort of very dishevelled looking individual.
I'm gonna yell, "That's our bloody boat, you git! Come back!"
Can Juniper throw a knife at them?
Yes. Yes, Juniper can always throw knives.
I imagine this like happen as like we said, hey, that's our boat. Juniper's response is like knife. It's like
Shall I roll dex?
Yep.
Hang on, did we look in the cargo hold? Sorry,
No.
or just the cabin?
No.
You just looked on the top
No.
floor.
No.
You just looked at the top floor of the boat, nothing else.
Yeah, and then we found the dentures of doom.
8.
No. You throw your knife, it goes nowhere near.
Splosh.
Yep.
You've lost a knife.
No, that must be bad.
So
Start hopping up and down.
the figure who's stolen your boat is about halfway back to port now.
Jesus Christ, they move fast for a dishevelled individual. Someone.
I mean, we did have you rowing, so.
Shut up.
As you,
Cast, I'm gonna. I can't really think of anything to success yet. We should probably send a warning and/or fireball them.
as you're
Ruth is like frantically pacing up and down the ship, going, "Well, you need to get off this boat."
as you're
Do.
wondering what to do, you hear the sound of something climbing the stairs behind you.
Immediately, a lightning bolt ready. Just like,
So, just for,
Is there anything
can I explain?
Lyrium has just shown up.
Can I explain to Ryan what red lyrium is?
Yep.
See? There's a reason why Varric tells us not to touch it. There's a reason.
Amy is saying C. There's a reason.
Tell him what does Varric tell us to do? Ask him what that
Varric tell us to do.
Varric tells you not to fucking touch it. That's a quote from Inquisition.
Yes!
well, we didn't touch it.
I still
We
don't
just
know what it
opened the
does.
Yeah.
Now I'm just assuming it's like fucking.
I just have this image of Ruth is panicking enough for everyone
Okay.
else, and everyone's like,
I'm not panicked. I'm very calm.
Red lyrium is basically blighted lyrium. So it's not only magical, it's also with the taint. So it corrupts everything and it spreads exactly like lyrium does, which is like a root system that's like.
So you're telling me that we have the Japanese knotweed of blight.
It creates like magic. It can.
I am
stuff
concerned
if
by the
you're
fact that you
beside
didn't
it too
say
much.
yes, because that implies that it's worse.
It is worse.
It does creepy stuff like bringing statues to life.
I mean, to be
it
honest,
drives you
it's
insane.
indenture, so there's at a point someone put it in their mouth and used it as like teeth.
Or it grew there. If they
What,
had
someone was
lyrium, if they had like
contaminated
a
it?
lyrium tooth or something, it could have like gotten contaminated and it could have grown. Yeah, it's
That's-
creepy. It's creepy.
Meanwhile, on the show, we're all like looking towards this fucking thing coming up the stairs.
okay.
I have the lightning bolt charged up, just
Okay.
like.
Is there anything on the ship that could feasibly make something that floats, or is it being cleared off?
There's nothing immediately you could like grab the hand that could float. I mean, you could rip a door off, I suppose.
What about any barrels nearby?
No.
Rope from the
Oh,
rigging,
there's rope.
perhaps?
There's rope from the rigging hanging
I could
around.
cut
Yeah.
down some rope, but that doesn't float without, other stuff.
No. So as you
All right.
look down into the hold, you see a sort of a figure climbing the stairs. It looks like they've got a hood. They've got their hood up, and as they get to the top of the stairs, they turn around and look to you, and you hear a, "It's been a while since I had company."
Identify yourself, sir, or be lightning bolted. It's like.
I'm gonna start scrounging stuff for a potential boat.
Ruth
He
is helping. Ruth is...
he
Juniper has a dagger between each finger.
I look for barrels.
he
Look for a barrel.
he sort of slowly pulls his hood back, and he's got his hair is in patches. There's bits missing. He's got like hundreds of tiny sores all over his face. His eyes are completely like milky white, and he just looks at you and goes, "I am the captain. Do you not recognize me from my portrait?"
No.
I'm not even gonna dignify that with a response. I'm busy looking for bits for a boat. I'm hacking up part of the deck at the moment for wood.
Okay.
Oh, did Hosea not sell a portrait? Or was it just a landscape?
That was I don't think that would be the same.
That was a nice landscape.
As he says, as you remember that, and above the bed in the captain's cabin was a large sort of self-portrait of someone.
Did he look like a person who was covered in sores?
He looked like a very thickly bearded elf in the sort of rare world that is.
Okay.
Blackbeard.
I'm
Blackbeard
kind
is
of like,
present once again.
But this guy just sort of hobbles towards you and goes, "Have you come to rescue me, friend?"
I'm gonna yell over my shoulder. What's in it for us?
No.
Well, I have been paid well for my travel, but I can't get into port, so whatever you need, friend.
how about some information before we decide what we're going to do? And I put my hand down and I'll discharge. I'll power down the, what were you carrying?
You notice that even though you move around him, he doesn't seem to track where you are from sight. It seems to be more sort of like hearing you move.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna tell Ruth to hold this plank steady while I nail in. Just like, you know that when you see time lapses of houses being built, it's
Yes.
like that, but at a real speed and a boat.
So it's like a building montage, you're saying?
Yeah. Ruth's quietly like whispering to us like, I will jump and swim if we don't get this and,
Don't
like
really know it.
even if we don't even if it sinks, I'm still like I'm gonna learn to swim
It just needs to float. That's all it needs to do. We can paddle. It just needs
At
to
this
float.
point, I think this person is in the middle with like me, Juniper, and Wraith, just kind of at 3 points, just kind of like.
Me and Ruth are at the prow.
Yep.
It's a
Or
very,
near the prow.
it's a very Dragon Age standoff sort of thing.
Ruth is in full flight mode. He's like, you need to get out of here. You need to get out of here.
He starts limping towards the cabin at the back. He goes, "I'll get you some treasure, friend. Don't worry."
No. We just need some information, so you don't need to go anywhere.
What do you need from me then, friend?
Should I throw a dagger?
No, I'm gonna say, ask him about the elf.
I look at Juniper. I was like, not now. Wait for the signal. And then I go like, what were you carrying? Where did you last make port?
Last made port at the ruins at Adarim, I believe.
I look at Ruth to see what reaction this has. Because
We had a cargo to collect there. We sent a few folks on land to grab it, and most of them returned.
And is this cargo currently in your hold?
Oh, no, it's too valuable for that.
What is the cargo?
It was some Templar artifact, I don't know.
That's all I need to know. Yeah.
I'm gonna say, Templar. And nod in your direction, Ruth.
That's it. Alright, Captain.
Yeah.
Here's the deal. The authorities have deemed that this ship is a danger to the city.
My ship's no danger to anyone. I mean, it's only got me and the 2 boys left. Everyone else is gone. Even the elves in the barrels have gone silent.
So now that I've conversed with him for a little, do I get the impression that he has lost his mind, or he's like still kind of trying to preserve himself? And like,
for all purposes, he seems more sound-minded than you'd expect.
The elf that we met earlier was in a barrel, and she heard screaming. So I'm assuming the other bells in the barrel are other people in barrels.
Question is, who are the two? Who are the two people? The two boys? Well, one of them may well be the sneaky figure who's making off with that boat.
Yeah.
But
is it maybe the cabin boys? Maybe. And there's another one somewhere.
Yeah. Probably won't be Barrel Elf.
No.
What were you saying, Grace?
Having gotten closer to this guy, can Wraith recognise these sores as anything identifiable? Is there like a condition that this person has that he might be familiar with?
You would say that he's somehow rotting, even though the way he speaks and such, he seems more compos mentis than you'd understand from someone who literally looks like they're rotting away. He's got very dark circles around his eyes.
You seem terribly afflicted, sir. What happened on this ship?
I've had worse at sea. I just want to get into port and find myself a wench.
Well, we'll see about that. You'll need to see to a doctor first.
You know.
What happened to the rest of your men? Did they fall prey to the same thing that you are suffering from?
They're all lazy bastards. They've probably just been away in their hammocks. But they've gone silent. He sort of gestures his hand in front of his eyes and goes, "As it stands out, I can't see as well as I could."
Is there a concept of flotation devices here?
Apart from the one Gimli is building, no.
How far along am I?
You've basically built a door with more planks attached to it.
It's a start.
I'd like to, I'm basically just I'm trying to build a box, nail a leather water-ish proof thing on the inside to keep the water out, and that will do to keep us afloat while we paddle to shore. That's what I'm trying to do. So I have borrowed one of your undercloaks, and I'm using my part of. Was it my?
Ruth's like gladly giving it to you. He's like, here, take it.
And I'm doing the little fiddly bits with parts of my leather arm wraps. so I'm going to have to add damage to them. Half removed for emergency flotation.
Small bags of nails and other things that just look like a comb.
I'm thinking there's barrels underneath as well.
Probably, but we don't have time to go underneath. This is an emergency.
I'm stopping the captain from going into the corridor that leads to his cabin. And just kind of like speaking so he can understand that I'm in the way, and I'm like, Captain, your ship has been compromised.
Don't worry. A few barnacles under the thing are nothing new.
As much as I admire your attitude, the thing that you bought on has caused great harm and cannot get to port.
Oh, it's fine. As long as I make the delivery, all this will be cured. We've been promised it.
Who were you delivering it to?
Some trader.
Simpkins?
That's the man, yes. He's supposed to meet us at the port and take this item, and any affliction of my crew will be cured. He promised it in writing.
Simpkins is no longer around.
What do you mean, no longer around?
It means he can't fulfill his promise.
He sort of looks at you like he's the last sort of thing keeping him sane is slowly dwindling at this point.
Uh-oh.
Wraith steps in behind the captain and kind of. How tall is the captain? Is Wraith looming over him, or?
Yeah,
'cause
he's about the same height as you, because he's a very tall elf, but he looks like he's slightly more stooped than he was.
All the
I
same.
need to point out that Tom disappeared from his view, and then when he started talking, just popped up right in the middle. Like,
Bee Rider.
I am the rider.
did that, and it caught me off guard.
Beautiful.
Oh,
Where was I? So anyway, so Wraith walks up behind the captain and puts a hand over the top of his head and prepares a frostbolt, kind of like right over the top of his head, and is just waiting to see like what happens, like because the mood is possibly changing right now.
Yeah. It's
So
very much like the gunslinger thing, where the hand is just doing that thing. We're ready to like kind of like poke them at the.
Yeah, you can see kind of like frost blowing off over the edges of Wraith's hand between his fingertips.
I like the juxtaposition of there's like just this tense thing happening, and then off the course there's just like furious hammering and like, no, put it this way, no.
You know how in video games they don't actually bother showing you a building animation often. They just have like a dust cloud with hammers and arms and you know sparks. That's That's what it's like now.
but there's no arguments because Ruth and Gimli are working very well together. Like Ruth's like following all the instructions. On Juniper, we're following all the instructions.
You know, handing things, holding things up, doing something.
Yep.
Like,
Yeah. Oh jeez. How is it almost done? Do you reckon?
So you're continuing to build at this point. The captain is staring a hole through Vincenzo. As in, not even. It's as if he doesn't even know where Vincenzo is, but he's staring blankly away and just goes, "No, I need to deliver this. If I don't, I'll never see again."
Captain, I think the choice has already been made for you. Simpkins can't help you. I don't think he ever could.
At this point, from the other end of the ship, you hear, "Captain! Have we got ourselves a ship yet?" You look over and there's a bright blue fabricant popped up from the cargo deck. His face is covered in what looks like live tentacles. Large, thick black tentacles, and he goes, "Captain, can we get home yet? I'm getting a bit sick of having these things on my face."
did you do cosmic horror with the Muppets?
Please no.
Why not?
Why do we have blight-afflicted fabricant? What have we done to deserve this, pup? What have we done to deserve this?
What have we done to Dragon Age lore?
Are they-
Oh, that's smouldering in a hole
fine.
somewhere. Don't worry about that.
I guess we find out if fabricants are weak to fire. It's like-
Yeah, because out of sheer panic, Wraith spins around from the captain and sees where this voice has come from, recognizing the tone of a fabricant, and just whips a fireball straight in its direction.
Okay, roll. Let's see where it goes.
Oh dear.
Natural 1. Oh dear.
No.
Everybody, hit the deck!
Alright, first question.
It's gonna be
Okay.
me.
Second question. Why do I need to
do
remember
I-
to put this in the other tab.
Do I get a modifier because I'm shorter, so therefore less of a large target?
Oh, it doesn't help.
And final response.
It's up to the dice.
Okay. I
If
need
it's
to
me,
roll.
I'm gonna laugh.
I need to roll a d5 to see who this hits.
I like how everyone's life flashes before their eyes.
I'm so sorry.
It's my curse to be set on fire in every campaign.
Well, you are wearing a lot of cotton.
We're wearing a lot of clothes, so
Oh,
maybe
dear.
that'll protect you from burns.
Is it me?
It'll
Wraith,
not be me. I've already had to make 2 more
Wraith
characters.
spins round. He throws a fireball. The fireball goes straight up. There's a sound of singeing as a rope is cut. As the rope is cut, a large sail starts spinning and flying straight down. It lands atop of Ruth, slicing his right leg clean from his body.
Oh!
No!
I'm just gonna go bloop and fall onto the floor and start
Actually,
screaming.
1 second, I didn't roll. Do you want order even to see if it was above the knee or not?
Oh fuck.
Yes, yes. Because
Dealer's
peg
choice.
like Ruth. Peg like Ruth.
What do we think? Order.
Dealer's choice.
All right. Even it's the knee and below odd. It's like at the basically at the hip. It's even, which was my brain's already forgotten which one that was. I think that was it. I think that was at the hip. At the knee. Okay.
No,
So
no,
yeah.
that's the knee first.
Yeah. So basically, it basically scythes straight through Ruth's knee, severing the fully like through the kneecap. The whole leg just spirals off into the distance off the side of the ship.
I'm gonna be Rufus like screaming and like cursing in Dalish and just like.
At this point,
on
the
a
captain
tangent
goes,
and then hurried.
"Get back in, Patrick. This has nothing to do with you." The sound of the sail landing doesn't seem to bother him.
Alright, well, first things first. I'm going to take off my boots and drop them on Ruth's chest to hold him down. Then
Ruth's already like clambering his leg and like casting like healing magic.
Yeah.
Into, like,
Yeah,
Like,
well,
like frantically
he's
like
already,
pawing his leg. Yeah.
He's like furiously casting. Just being, like,
feel free to do that.
swearing and screaming.
Feel free to do that, but I want you to hold still, so I'm still going to put my boots on your chest. These are dwarven boots. You are probably not going to be
Okay,
able to
so
move from under them.
as Ruth is panically trying to heal himself, what are you doing to Ruth, Gimli?
The boots to hold
Hold me down.
to hold the flailing madman in place.
But for what
I'm going to
purpose?
say, stop wiggling as sternly as I can manage, and I'm going to grab the leg and like put it up. Hang on.
I thought the leg flew off.
The leg's flown off.
Raise it
Yeah,
above
but like
the body
The leg's
and
gone.
put a tourniquet on.
No. I'm a tinker. See, I'm a tinkerer. So
Right.
I think there's something
Tinker
I could...
afterwards.
Ruth is literally like slapping
Right.
him away. Just
It's going to bleed out.
Gimli, do me
Alright.
Gimli, do me a plain roll, please.
Plain roll.
Yeah, just a D20 roll.
Is this
if I bleed out because of you, my next character is gonna hunt you down.
So, I'm already cut short, thank you very much. That's speciesist.
No, I said hunt you down.
Alright.
When he said I have to take my boots, I thought he was gonna put it on the stump. But like, that was.
I mean, honestly, no, I think I'll probably use something to tourniquet it, but I had an idea
Okay.
first.
That is
Yes,
fine.
Clive, at least I'm not on fire.
That is
Was
fine.
this to whether or not I've been kicked by a flailing Ruth off
No,
board?
no, this was if you'd rolled anything below a 5, you would basically have tried to either insert a new pole or believed that the vastly knitting flesh was actually a problem and start hacking it away while trying to screw a new plank to her leg. But that's not the case, so we don't have to worry about that because that didn't happen.
Alright, I'm gonna get a
That
couple
is a level of body
planks.
horror that is.
I'm gonna get a couple of planks and tie them one on either side of the leg.
Yes, at least this is a non-invasive way of fixing it, which
And
is
then
fine.
I'm gonna tie one of my boots to the bottom of the two planks.
Okay, so Ruth now has a plank on either side of their leg, being tied very tightly onto it with a boot stuck to the bottom of it.
Yeah, it's a bit heavy, so a slight elf like you might have
So,
a bit of difficulty.
There have been no screws used, so you're fine, Ruth.
Yeah.
There is a kind of harness thing, so that it's like kind of hooked around the middle bones.
Until we get you a proper peg leg.
The ones like below your stomach, but not your legs. Waist
I
bones.
told you.
Hip bones.
Please.
Delirious kind of shouting.
I'm just gonna point at Kimberly and he's like, and right now I hate you hate you. And he's gonna point at Wraith and say, I hate you the most.
At this point,
You guys are starting to get along.
Well, Jose's not there anymore.
You're like, Mum, Dad, stop fighting.
She's like swinging at this point because he's so deliriously like blood loss and like
Yep.
pain and everything, just like
Alright.
looking at Wraith, just
I'm
like,
gonna
kill you in your sleep.
I'm gonna
I'm running you
yell,
now.
I'm gonna yell to the others, time's up. I'm gonna grab the flotation aid in one arm, I'm gonna grab Ruth in the other,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna jump off the boat.
As you run to start doing this, you hear, Captain, I've got to report that one of the sails is down now. I don't think we're going anywhere.
We didn't hear any of that.
Patrick,
you've
you've
always
always
been
been useless. You hear,
Start you.
oh yeah, I gotta remember, I gotta talk slowly and deliberately so Discord picks me up. Captain, I gotta report that one of the sails is down. I don't think we're going home. Patrick, you've always been useless. Get back below deck.
I'm going to look straight at the captain. I'm going to say, Captain, there's two things that can happen here. Either you can, like, this boat is not going to make it into port. You're not going to get cured. That's just how it is. You can possibly just tell us who. You can possibly just like kind of go down with the ship, as it were. And that's the right thing to do.
Well, he sort of he sort of looks like he's staring around, and then his hand goes to his sword. He pulls his sword out. What does he do with it? Yep, pulls his sword out, offers it to you, and says, "Just kill me."
That even though, yes,
Just-
I will lop his head off.
As you take the sword, he just says, "Just promise me you'll kill Patrick as well. The boy's too thick to know how to kill himself."
Oh, you could rest assured I'll get him. And Wraith strides off
Stomps off with like
towards where
fire.
Anakin was at that point. And gets another fireball in hand, ready to go.
Okay, so you lop the captain's head off with barely any effort. He literally just, his bones were very brittle, as it were, anyway. So he just basically, like, the head comes off and it just rolls to the side. As Wraith begins to look down the thing in the darkness of the deck below, you hear a making eggs, making eggs, sing about making eggs.
This is a dark scene. Because I imagine like fucking Wraith's eyes burning with rage just as he walks in with fire.
Walks down.
Me and the elf were just getting along, and you've ruined it.
As he's kind of passing down, like stepping down across the deck, like where is Ruth? Is he going past this
Ruth
Dean?
has been grabbed by Gimli, and
We're in the water already.
yeah, the two of them have jumped. Does Gimli's thing actually float?
Oh, come on. I spent
Yes.
ages on this.
Just, it's
It
barely.
doesn't have to float well, it just has to float a little.
It barely floats. So Gimli and Ruth are now off the side of the ship on this basically half door box thing.
I'm pedaling.
Is there a
I'm like holding the box with my arms and I'm kicking my feet. Now I may not, be great at rowing, but I'm probably a bit better at swimming with a flotation aid anyway, because I've got strong legs. I'm going to say to Ruth, "Can you swim?
No, I can't swim.
Can you paddle?"
Hang on, what were you saying, Ron?
Is there a chance Juniper has nicked tubing at some point, like a home?
Probably.
The old tube. So, batshit fucking idea.
Uh-oh.
She's really light, so she can hop on thing and it probably won't sink it. She's 4 foot something.
Mm-hmm.
Put the tube underwater under the boat and start blowing on to get like an air bubble under it to like improve buoyancy.
Okay.
I've done this before. Fish tanks.
Let's see. Yes, it does seem to improve the buoyancy a little bit. The small raft bobs up a little bit as Ruth is frantically trying to stay aboard, and Gimli is like attached to the side of it, flapping his legs. So while this little boat continues to slowly get away from the ship, we'll deal with Wraith and the Fabricant. Wraith comes to the bottom of the sort of thing. He sees in front of him what looks like the Fabricant behind a large, what looks like some sort of like fire, and it looks like he's cooking something on the fire. And he seems to be singing to himself while he's doing it.
But I'm probably far behind because I'm like maybe a couple of seconds away from getting to Wraith.
Okay.
How close to the fire is he?
He's right next to it. At this point, you can see very oddly lit. You see that his eyes have basically gone almost full black, but they've got a little white dot that rolls around rather than the little black dot you'd expect from a Fabricant's eyes.
Standing right on the threshold of the room, Wraith fires, using the staff in fact, to enhance this. He fires a fireball directly into the fire to try and kind of like just make it explode and
roll
as much of the room as possible, basically.
Okay, that hits the target. There's a massive explosion.
Well, luckily we're already in the water, so
Yep.
we'll be fine.
So, can everyone, well, Shiraz and Wraith, first of all, do me a roll. If you've got dodge roll, you can add that. Otherwise, just do me a dex roll. Actually, no. It's dodge roll or nothing. So yeah, if you don't have dodge roll, you don't add anything. If you do have dodge roll, add dex.
It's just a D20. Oh no, Wraith.
You're gonna be a bit singed, mate.
When the blast's on.
Vincenzo manages to Vincenzo just gets blown off the side of the ship. Wraith gets shot.
The raft.
Wraith gets shot straight into the air.
Oh, that's not good.
Oh no.
Wraith,
What about the Fabricant?
the Fabricant's incinerated because Wraith was just standing next to the stairs up. Was the only reason he gets shot out the ship. Do me actually. Let me just do it. I'll just do it. Thing and see if anything.
This is not how
Yes.
Wraith goes. Like if Wraith goes
Wraith
like
flies through the air. 9. Wraith lands with a sickening snap next to the boat. The rest of the rest of you are on. Yep. His right arm is definitely broken. From going into the air and landing down. The rest of you now roll me a d20 plus dodge roll if you have it.
Here comes some flying debris.
It's more kind of you've just incinerated a ship full of lyrium dust.
15.
Oh, I completely forgot
Does that
about the
include
fact
dodge
that
roll?
S fucking stat.
Did you say dodge roll?
16!
Yes,
Oh my
dodge
God.
roll if you have it. Otherwise,
Bollocks.
just normal.
I do not.
This
If
is
you
why dodge
kill
roll
me-
is an interesting factor.
I completely forgot
10.
about the entire
10. Oh, nice.
So,
flammable.
the massive fireball that shoots from this ship engulfs the other ship that was watching it, which is now completely ablaze.
The big ship, sorry.
The other ship that was watching this ship is now completely ablaze. Gimli has been singed to the point that he no longer has a beard.
Oh, no.
Excuse me?
It's just,
Excuse me?
He's next to fire, so he can put himself out, but he is badly singed.
Can I'd like a difference on that. I'd like to be singed all but the beard.
Okay, 1 second. Just need to see.
I'm not taking that line down.
That's like soul damage for a
you are yeah, basically your beard is fine, the rest of you is completely smooth.
Well, I mean,
you
it's not that smooth, I'm
lost quite large chunks of your ears.
That's fine. I wasn't using them anyway.
Okay. So yeah, everyone else is now lying around this. The sea is on fire.
Yeah.
Because
luckily we're on something that barely floats
you're
anyway.
on a barely floating raft. Wraith's arm is broken.
Can I find Wraith and because he's floating and he has
Yes.
Just clinging onto some bit of, I don't know, the boat, I guess.
Yeah. I'll find Wraith and sort of help kind of push towards port.
This is a great story for Vincenzo's book.
Yeah.
Vincenzo is the only unscathed one
He's
that could rescue us all.
the rapier wielding rapscallion who's
there's a
main
slight
character.
problem. I didn't count on my book being in the water, and I don't have waterproof pages exist at the moment. So I'm gonna have to remember everything and write a new book.
I mean, let's be honest here. It probably won't change the details much because it's a story.
Right.
Stories happen the same way.
Also, it's first draft. Second draft is
Exactly.
always better.
We'll have no Hemingway
What
quotes on this.
And you're starting it off with you being the hero.
I don't know if I'm the hero. I'm just at this point. I'm just up one captain's cutlass and down a bunch of friends.
All right. So after about an hour of basically pathetic paddling, swimming, or getting back together, you are all back at the dock.
I can just imagine Captain Yevin's face. He was having.
He's just standing on the dock. He's been watching the whole time.
He was having a nice pint by the side, and then the boat just exploded.
There's a lot of panic around everywhere because there are still burning people, or very badly singed people being saved from the ship that caught fire next to it. But as you get back, you see that the boat you took originally is there. There's no one inside it. And when you ask around, they said they didn't see it come in.
Son of a. Alright, where can I just I'd like to imagine that our dear friend Tristan is has been observing this whole thing, and as we reach the shore just gives us a look, gets out from their back pocket a book, opens it to page 1, licks their finger and starts to write with a red pen.
Yes, I will totally allow that. Tristan standing at the desk going disapprovingly. Eventually, after doing 6 or 7 pages, filling in, eventually just stops, looks up, and continues again.
As afterthought. The
So-
worst recruits I have ever bought.
Tristan's thinking that Ruth and Wraith had gotten into a fight, and that's why one of them's missing a leg and the other one's broken an arm. They finally had a fight during a mission.
Makes sense.
Juniper is horribly wet, hissing, spitting, miserable.
Yep. Just
Wraith equally is just and he uses heat to dry himself off, but there's salt stuck all over the robes from the salt water, and it's and
How's your
healed
arm,
his
by the way?
He's used the healing to
reset his arm. Yeah.
After his the initial thing of it being lost
After the adrenaline.
and the healing, and then the adrenaline's past, Ruth is just silent. He's very quiet and sullen and withdrawn into his layers. His hood's up. He's not making eye contact with anybody, and he's just hobbling along.
I'm gonna want that
Gingerly
boot
as
back.
possible.
I'm gonna want that boot back at some point.
And I told
But-
him,
I thought they said the Gimli's walking around with one bit on.
Yeah. I'm not that cruel.
I looked at Gimli and then go, did you have a haircut?
I'd just say, yeah, had a bit off the ears.
Looks nice. Just kind of
Yeah. Sad thing is, Gimli can no longer ever wear glasses if he needs to.
Oh, I assumed it was the. I just assumed, I don't know why, that it was the lower part of my
No,
ear that
it's
had
the
been
upper
burned.
part.
It's the top
You
part.
can.
So I still got earlobes.
You
Oh,
still have
that-
your
that's,
earlobes, and that's about it. Like the top half of your ear is gone, but it looks melted.
that's even more disturbing somehow than just having the top part.
We need to
Hang on,
get
I need to
you,
write that down as damage, don't I? Damage head.
We need to get
Lost.
you like one of those Jane hats from Firefly, like with the
Oh.
little things hanging
Oh.
off the side.
Yes.
But yeah, you could also
Oh,
invent the Morpheus ones.
Leather wraps.
Alright.
Only one arm.
So
I give Captain Yevon and Tristan the report of everything, and I'm just like, yeah. In retrospect,
as you all get there, Yevon's running down to the docks and goes, "What happened? What happened? Why did they explode? What happened? What was on there?"
Red Lyrium.
Red lyrium. My God.
And a lot of lyrium dust.
Tainted fabricant.
Lyrium's safe unless there's fire, though, right?
Oh, no. Red.
Scary
Red
slide to
lyrium.
rotten man. Bad water. Don't like.
It's gonna finally dawn on Ruth.
He's like, I did say it was explosive. And he looks at Ruth, and you used fire. And he's just gonna turn his head and like walk away.
It was a very
hobble away, but
stressful
yes.
situation, Captain. It was a very stressful situation.
I like to think that as you walk away, I'm like helping you out by like you're like resting your hand on my helmet or something as you stumble
On your
away.
shoulder. On your shoulder.
Yep.
Like,
As
thank you very much,
Gimli is
dwarf.
also limping because he has, a bit of inch or two difference between the one boot he has and the non-boot he has.
Yeah. They're very thick boots. They are dwarven boots for dwarven purposes. I'll want it back at some point, but I'll try and fix you up as something slightly better than 2 planks of wood and some string before then.
Yeah, I'm sure we can find a sock that can go over the thigh. I'm sure if we put our heads together, we can figure out something.
A sock. He's just going to look down at his foot without the boot and just sort of.
That's this image of
and
a
just sort of point at his sodden sock.
It's a sock joint, though, is it not? Like, I can't remember.
I mean,
what
it
it's
may
called.
be,
Just
but
have it.
Gemini doesn't know that, and he's
Yeah,
going to
you
just
have
sort
a
of
sock
peel
like
off
that
this sock that
into-
is probably made
Yeah.
of chainmail types wool, and be like, yes. Okay, maybe not chainmail, but it bloody feels like it.
right. All right. Well, as Yevon, you all watch the sort of as the day comes to an end. You watch the scene of fire as the ship that wouldn't explode slowly sinks beneath the waves. We will do the full debriefing thing from it next week. So yes, does anyone have anything they wish to add before we stop?
Juniper is curling into a fucking stroppy ball for the rest of the day. She did not want to go on this trip. She was made to go.
It was. I didn't choose this. Adam
Her
Jensen.
whiskers are thin. She is not happy.
I didn't ask for this. It's like,
She
I am.
hope she didn't stab anybody.
Is this how it always goes? I'm gonna ask Ruth while I'm trying to give her.
Ruth's mourning his loss.
Staring at where his leg was, going like, "Why?"
It's like, well, at least I've got a spare. And he's gonna try and find like the nearest tavern or if there's a bar in our bit. He's gonna get a big bottle of rum. He's gonna get a giant bottle of rum.
You walk into the fabricant bar. Who goes, "Hi there. That looks it. That looks dangerous, friend."
Rum.
Yeah. Okay. So
No, I can't understand a word
okay.
you're saying.
So as Ruth drinks his sorrows away from the fabricant bar, is anyone else having any epilogues to this, or we just go?
I think
I'm gonna go home and I'm gonna polish my helmet and clean up my axe, make sure it doesn't get rust spots or anything. Jeez, that'd be terrible. I'm going to put my chainmail in a fire to clean and dry, and I'm gonna have a nice bowl of porridge or something from the HQ.
All right.
A nice wind up to the day after a particularly interesting.
After exploding a boat.
Yep. So, we will.
What did the gang learn today? Red lyrium is explosive. It's like...
No. Lyrium dust is explosive.
Sorry, lyrium dust is explosive.
Red lyrium is dangerous.
I have a lower question. Since that thing sank to the bottom of the ocean, I'm assuming, of port, will it still continue to affect things around?
Probably in the immediate surrounding, but because lyrium comes from like below the surface, it might just it might descend further down, or if depending on conditions, it'll probably like become dormant, maybe.
Hopefully it'll dilute or dissipate enough that it won't be a big problem.
It was right.
Yeah, that's
Dust, so it might have just been completely.
Yeah. Hopefully. We can hope. Because otherwise it's going to be a bit of a problem for this poor town. Maybe we should just let Captain Yevon know that they should keep an eye out for the next decade or so for any kraken.
yeah.
I think
There's
we give
no-
Captain Yevon a full report. We detailed kind of report at this time. So this is what
There's no way to create like balanced bombs with lyrium dust, which is like the key problem. There are like a few dwarves that have tried, but the mixtures are temperamental and they're not. It's not recommended.
It's true. I don't actually question. Is tinkering cover like sort of chemistry and physics stuff, or is it literally just mechanical movement?
If it moves, it's tinkering. If it stays still, it's smithing.
Okay.
That's the easiest way of putting it. Yeah.
Anyways,
Yeah. Well,
I'm gonna
that's.
source a new book.
Well, as Vincenzo sources a new book, and everyone else tries to find a way to feel slightly better, we will wind up for this week. So yes, just very quickly, as usual, if you want to ever get into more RPG goodness, we have affiliate codes for both D&Dice, which ddice.co.uk, which has fantastic acrylic and metal dice, as Tom the Bee Rider continues. If you want...
Did I introduce my bee?
I don't think you did in stream, no.
This is Megan.
Megan the Bee.
There you go. That was it. Sorry, I had to interrupt.
It's fine. So yes, if you want things like deck of many things and stuff like that, we also have affiliate code for Gemhammer and Sons Gaming, which is either Gemhammer or D&Dice, but Penance RPG in at checkout, and you will get discount there. I think it's 10% for D&Dice and 20% for Gemhammer. I'd be wrong, but I think that's what it is. Yes, as for the cast, we have Shiraz just there, who does fantastic art over at Dice Deeds Art. I just realised I forgot to do the affiliate Nightbot thing. I will do that for next week. We have Tom, who does a lot of co-op streams with myself. We have Amy, who does Verlaston and is it Frontier you need her with? And Potato Dice?
Frontier Pretend with Dice.
Yep. So, and then we have Rowan at the top there, who
Exists.
exists as
Is our friend. and
exists.
Occasionally turns up, occasionally draws a thing.
as we
Usually
learned
tired.
earlier, is cute and fluffy, and yes. So. So yes, that's all that. Our next couple of streams are tomorrow. Me and Belry are playing. I don't know what it is. It's some weird ass fucking game he's found. We've got a name for the series. It's something corner. I can't remember what it is, but it means shit game in Japanese. He really likes it, so I'm going with that. Tuesday we have Bar Trauma and Indie Horror. Wednesday we have me and Barry playing Bloodborne. Thursday we have Indie Horror. Friday we have Deep Rock and potentially Phasmophobia. We need to get back to playing Phasmo. We've not played in a couple of weeks, but we'll see how that goes. And then next Sunday we're back doing more Dark Tide. So yes, that is the week we're doing. So thank you very much everyone who has been a part today. I think today we will roll into... What is Insight Check doing today? Are they doing a... They are doing an RPG. Yeah, we'll just roll it at that. So yeah, rolling into Insight Check. They are another fabulous TTRPG people. I think they do one-shots on Sundays. They are currently doing a conversation about something. I have no idea. It's they're doing a sort of interview with someone else. So yeah, roll into them. But yes, thank you very much, folks. We hope you enjoyed. Continue with Dark Tide. We'll be back for more crazy RPG fun next week. So yes, I hope you all enjoy. Let's take you over there. And until next time, folks, you all take care. Have a great time. Good night.
Bye.
Bye.
See yous.
When I find the screaming screen, it's